Okay, so when you think of a farm, you're probably picturing rolling green hills, right? Not exactly sand dunes. But in the United Arab Emirates, farming isn't just a thing, it's a massive national priority. So how on earth do you grow food in one of the driest places on the planet? And what's the hidden cost when it comes to water and energy? Well, let's dig in and find out.
To really get a handle on this challenge, you have to start with the water. And this fact right here, it just sets the stage perfectly. The entire Middle East, which has over 6% of the world's population, is trying to get by on a tiny fraction of its fresh water.
1.4%. Just let that sink in for a second. In a place like the UAE, every single drop isn't just precious. No, it's a critical strategic resource. It's the foundation for everything, from daily life all the way up to national food security.
So with water being that scarce, you have to ask, where is it all going? Well, a huge amount of it is going into farming. You see, the country's big push for food security has meant major investments in agriculture. But that puts an absolutely enormous strain on that tiny 1.4%.
And this number gets right to the heart of the whole puzzle. Two-thirds. Two-thirds of all the water used in the Emirates goes directly into growing food. I mean, that's just a staggering figure, and it's why making farms more water efficient isn't just a good idea, it's a top national priority.
So where's all this farm water coming from? Well, for the most part, it's being pumped up from underground aquifers. This groundwater is the main natural source for these farms. But here's the problem. It's being drained way faster than nature can possibly refill it. And that's a situation that, just can't last forever. And this is where our story gets really interesting. A team of researchers from Khalifa University and MIT decided they were going to tackle this whole water energy puzzle head-on. They wanted to get past the old assumptions and find out what's really going on at these farms.
Their goal was super clear and incredibly practical. They wanted to map out the exact link between the electricity a farm uses and the water it consumes. Why? Because you can't design policies that actually work to save resources if you don't have that super detailed on-the-ground data.
And boom, this was one of their first huge findings. As the researchers talked to farm owners, a really clear pattern started to emerge. For the farmers, water is everything. Its cost, its reliability, that's priority number one. Electricity? Yeah, it's important, but it's a distant second. This just goes to show that, from the farmer's point of view, water is the thing that really keeps them up at night.
But the research dug up something that goes way beyond technology. It turns out the biggest clues to solving this puzzle weren't hiding in the irrigation systems or the power grid. Nope, they were hiding in the people themselves.
So that led to the million-dollar question. If it's not just about the pumps and the pipes, what are the hidden forces driving how many resources are used? And trust me, the answer is genuinely surprising.
And here they are. It turns out that social factors are massive predictors. We're talking about things like the owner's age, their level of education, even how often their family comes to visit the farm. But one of the biggest ones? The salary of the farm workers. Now, why would that be? The study suggests that maybe better paid workers are more invested in their jobs, maybe they're better trained, or maybe they're just more careful with precious resources like water and power.
This table just breaks it all down perfectly. Check this out. Some factors, like the owner's education, were mostly linked to electricity use. Others, like how many animals were on the farm, were tied pretty directly to water use, which makes a lot of sense. But look at worker salary. It has a strong connection to both water and electricity use, which makes it a really powerful lever to pull for any new policies. So what do you do with all this amazing new data? You use it to build a better future. This last part is all about turning these incredible insights into a real, actionable blueprint for making things more sustainable. This slide shows us both a huge challenge and an even bigger opportunity. The researchers discovered that a grand total of 0%, of the farms they surveyed were using any kind of renewable energy. But, and this is the exciting part, most of them were totally open to the idea of connecting to shared water and electricity networks. So there's a real hunger for collaboration out there.
So based on all of this, the researchers came up with a really clear three-step blueprint. First, boost efficiency with smart policies that target both water and electricity. Second, help farms develop their own local power sources, these little microgrids. And third, build on that willingness to cooperate by connecting farms into shared networks to make the whole system stronger and more resilient.
And that really brings us to the final and maybe the most important takeaway. This research makes it crystal clear. You can't solve a resource problem if you don't understand the people who are using those resources. So if human behavior is a key part of the problem,
couldn't it also be our most powerful solution?